Welcome to Compass Points, the weekly podcast for CompassKnox.com. CompassKnox.com is your best source for news and politics in Knoxville and Knox County. If you'd like to learn more about the topics discussed on today's podcast, go to CompassKnox.com and subscribe for in-depth coverage and much more.
Welcome to Compass Points, a podcast about Knoxville and Knox County government, politics, business, education, and just about anything else that strikes our fancy. I am Scott Barker. I'm the editor of Compass, and which is a subscription-based website and newsletter where we report on all these things and more. You can find us at CompassKnox.com. We're recording this from the opulent marble and gold festooned facility in Rocky Hill that is Barbarian Productions, and Lord Seth Barber is the ruler of the realm. Seth, how are you doing today?
I'm well. I've been working on my my AI prompt skills, so maybe I'm going to AI prompt your description of this room, and I'll post that on the as the image for this episode as it comes out. So when you get your episode this week, if there's a weird picture instead of Scott's beautiful face and some gilded room, then that's what you're going to be seeing. Well,
I tell you what, you mentioned AI. One of the things that happened recently, I guess it was a little bit more than a week ago now. Gannett, the owner of USA Today and the largest newspaper chain in the country and owner of the News Sentinel, announced they were going to be doing a bunch of buyouts, and they were going to start relying more and more on AI in their work. So that's
see, I've been on this kick of like rewatching some of our 90s, early aughts sci-fi movies that involve robots and AI and stuff like that. And if the wonderful Hollywood filmmakers are any sort of Nostradamus here, we're all screwed.
Yeah, well, you know, I never much cared for those movies when I was a kid, and then the young adult, and I don't care for the reality. So today, so I'm not a big fan of AI, but it's here, and we're going to have to deal with it. But also something that's here is the weather. And Seth, it's time for your 3-day-old weather report.
We've got Skywater. We've got real Skywater. It rained like last 2 days on and off. We've got the standard late summer thunder showers. We had some flooding around town on Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, or whatever. That was, flooding's not great, but getting some water, some Skywater is a good thing. We need the Skywater to be happening. And if I recall, or from my deep preparation for the episode, it looks like we're going to have some on and off all week this week with some of that Skywater. So I'm good with that. We're down like 10 degrees. Also good with that. But I, like you, am in the old man, it's still too hot mode. The high in the mid 70s is my target realm. So we got a little ways to go to get there. But the world doesn't work just for me, so I guess I have to deal with seasonal whatever.
Oh, Seth, the world revolves around you. What are you talking about? Okay, well, let's move on into what we're really here about, and that is a review of last week's news in Knoxville and Knox County. And there's been a lot of little quick hits this week. The University of Tennessee's Tickle College of Engineering is going to be getting into nuclear education for kindergartners. So we'll talk about that a little bit. The UT's Baker Center has announced a new award for public service that they're going to give out, a national award. We also check in with Congressman Tim Burchett, who had an unfortunate run-in with a horse over last weekend. We look at the effect of the federal budget cuts on East Tennessee, public broadcasting, and also WEOT. And Burchett is involved heavily in that. He made some pretty inflammatory comments about NPR and PBS.
I mean, for good or for bad, our federal rep from District 2 here in Knoxville has kept us in the news cycle in one way or the other. He's a popular face among the national news networks.
He has been on TV more in just his 3 terms,
right?
Than Jimmy Duncan was in his 25 years.
Right. I was trying to do the math in my head on the same exact reference. So me and you are on the same page.
We also check in. There was a first district city council candidate forum that we covered, and I also moderated. We'll talk about that, but we will start out by talking about one of the big issues locally, and it has been for quite some time.
And this one fascinates me. Like, I find this one super interesting on a number of different aspects, because these developers are doing what they're doing, even though the data is showing what it's showing.
Yeah, well, and what we're talking about is the housing market. As we have noted many times, and is just kind of accepted now as I don't know if you can still call it a crisis. It's lasted for so long, but for the last several years, we've had rising costs and all kinds of barriers to the market, the housing market. A lot of it, we've got a lot of people moving in the community, all of that, and so supply and demand, the imbalance there is well discussed, exhaustively discussed. We just don't have enough housing supply to meet the demand in the market. But as found out this week, there are a lot of other imbalances that have an effect as well, and they're all kind of interconnected and they interplay. And this kind of came to light last Monday. The county commission had its monthly meeting, and Maria McHale, who is the government affairs and policy director for the East Tennessee Realtors, gave a presentation on their 2025 state of housing report. Now that has come out recently, and as she was going through her presentation, one of the things that struck me, I was there covering this for Compass, was the other mismatches and disparities that are in the market. Now, one thing that she said is that price increases are slowing a little bit. There are a lot of good indicators in the market that it's kind of returning to normal. I could say from personal experience on that one, I've had houses in this neighborhood back a couple of years ago that the sign would be up in the yard and down the same day, if not a day later, where now there's a few houses for sale that have been on the market for more than a day. Yeah. That's one thing that the realtors have. They have a monthly newsletter too that we typically report on, and the amount of time that houses are on the market is longer. The price increases are slowing somewhat. There's just there are a lot of good signs in the market. First and foremost, that kind of needs to say, but there's still an issue. One of the things is that the after the housing market collapse in 2008, housing construction slowed for years, and the local building market, and most of this is the Knoxville metro area, not just the city of Knoxville or Knox County. So many of these stats are for the metro area, but they estimate that 23,080, almost 23,100 units were not built that would normally have been built. So over that time frame. So based on on the previous the years before 2008, what was being built, and then what is being built now. So that has happened, and especially in the last few years, the population has grown tremendously. It's 50,000 new residents in Knox County in the last or in the area, Knoxville metro area, just in the last 5 years. So McHale said that if people stopped moving here now, we closed our borders, we built a wall around the Knoxville metro area, we would still be short 10,500 houses and apartments. In Knox County alone, there'd be more than 6,000. So that's a huge problem. One disparity that's affecting people's abilities to buy houses, of course, is you got to have a job for the most part, and the workforce participation is well below historical averages. And workforce participation is the potential, the number of people who are actually working, who could be working, who are actually working. And it's different from unemployment, because unemployment only covers people who are actually looking for jobs. So a lot of these people aren't looking for jobs for whatever reason. But only our workforce participation rate is only 58%, which is about 5% percentage points lower than the historical average. So basically, that means almost half the people who could be who are in the workforce are actually working, are actually participating in the job market, and that's one thing. Those who are working, their incomes haven't been able to keep up with the increase in home prices. The median income in the metro area is about $70,000 a year. It's less than that in the city of Knoxville, and affordability now is at a 40-year low. We've got land and materials prices have soared. Construction materials have gone up 44% overall since the pandemic hit. And the size of, nobody, the old saw is nobody's making any more land, and the typical half-acre lot, and we'll get to more about half-acre lots in a minute, but the half-acre lot in Knox County back in 2012 was sold for about a little bit less than $30,000, and now it's over $150,000. So, and that's just for the land. That's not for the house. That's for the land. And McHale said that one of the things, and that's in Knox County, not the metro area. That's just in Knox County. And what that's doing, McHale said, is pushing a lot of people to the outlying counties where they can find more affordable homes, places where they can actually buy a house. And so, and the assumption there is that Knox County is losing the workforce. These are people that are moving to other counties and probably working there more than they are here. So, as I said, the median income is around $70,000 in the metro area. Now that will get you a $230,000 house. Which
find me one. Where is one? I don't know. Do those exist anywhere in this town?
Well, I mean, here's one of these other disparities, the mismatches. Only 16% of the houses listed for sale in the Knoxville area go for $230,000 or less.
Right, we're talking. This is single family homes.
Yeah. And so So basically, half of the population can only afford 16% of the houses on the market. So you've got, they don't even qualify for 84% of the houses out there. So, that is a big problem. And one of the reasons is another disparity in the market, and that is that these newly constructed homes are getting bigger and bigger. On average, they're about 2,300 square feet, and so they're getting bigger. They're getting a lot more expensive too, because as the aforementioned increase in land prices and building materials, it's the median price of a home in the Knoxville area has reached $364,800, almost $365,000. So
is that the new built homes, or is that
yes? Well, no, those are homes for sale.
Okay, right, because the new built homes probably well above that.
Yeah. One of the and what's happening there is it's running into some demographic issues as well. Not only is it running into price issues for people who are working, but it's other demographic issues. One of those big ones is we've got an aging population, and more seniors who want to downsize. They don't need a 4-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom house on a 1-acre lot or a half-acre lot. And Mikhail said that one of the things that's desperately needed is to have smaller houses, on smaller lots, and that's not where a lot of people, especially in established areas, want to go. They don't want houses, especially in the county where it's more rural. They don't want houses closer together. They don't want, and so when you have a big lot, you almost, if you're a builder, you've just about got to build you're going to spend, well over $160,000 or so for a lot. You're going to want to put a big house on there.
Because I think even mathematically,
yes,
even mathematically, if you split it up and try to build 2 smaller houses on there, they're still going to be, those individual houses are still going to be outside that price range.
Yeah, but one house definitely will be.
Right.
So the houses that are being built don't match up with the houses that are in demand. When you have the smaller houses that are at a more affordable price point, then that's when you can get seniors who would downsize and move into them, or first-time home buyers who, a couple that hasn't started a family yet, things like that, they who might be able to get into a less expensive home. They don't need a 4-bedroom home yet, and they can't afford a 4-bedroom home yet, but they could afford maybe a 2-bedroom home. But they don't make 2-bedroom homes anymore. They don't build them anymore. So one of these things, one of the things that's going on right now, of course, is the county is in the process of rewriting its zoning code. They're developing what they call a unified development ordinance, fancy term for new zoning code, and they've got a consultant who's working with them. It's really getting ready to gear up, and it's going to be a complete rewrite of the zoning code. And that's where the rubber meets the road when you talk about, lot sizes and square footage of houses and things like that. The realtors, Mikhail said they were going to be real involved in that. But, you run into a lot of resistance to higher density and these smaller houses and also it's just kind of interesting. I just found it very, very interesting that there were that all these mismatches between in these various areas. We also have racial disparities and racial and ethnic disparities. The home buyers, the percentage of home buyers who are African American or Hispanics way lower. They get rejected for mortgages at a higher rate than white applicants do. I mean, there's all kinds of disparities in the market that when you add them up, just about everything's out of whack. Now things are getting better, as Mikhail said, according to their review of things, but you still have these, and a lot of these are going to be hard to fix. I mean, it's going to be
right, because it seems to me like there's a significant rock in a hard place in play here. Like,
oh yeah,
if you're a builder and you're trying to build stuff and you're developing stuff, there is a very specific format that is the economical way to do it as a builder, which also seems to not be what the most demand version is. But the most demand version is not economical or functional to get built, and so how to bridge that gap seems like a rock in a hard place kind of deal, because it's just so expensive to build. If you're going to build, you got to build it to be a high dollar place.
Yeah,
and so
well, one of the things that Mikhail said that there are builders out there who are trying to figure out ways to do that, to build residences that are the right size and the right price, to meet the market.
And I mean, to editorialize is a fully opinion part for me, and I apologize, but I think there is the grand demographic that is Knoxville, Knox County metro area, as we have grown and changed. There is some of this that's just not reality anymore, and you can want and wish to have a certain type of house, certain size house, and a certain size lot that's just not going to exist in Knoxville anymore. And I think that's part of it that's also in transition right now, that people are still used to the idea that you can get a small single-family home in Knoxville that's built new. It's like those things don't like. There's a line somewhere that's not going to get that's never going to go back to.
Yeah, well, yeah. Right now, especially, you said probably won't be able to go back to, but this idea that you can buy a new smaller home as a starter home, for example, is just practically fantasy.
Yeah.
As far as a single family,
right?
A townhouse maybe if it's in the right area and the right size, but
right. But even if you get some of the older homes that have existed for years, they've been there for years, but just a piece of land is out of whether it's an old house or whatever on the lot, the piece of land is so expensive because Knoxville's getting that big.
Yep. Yes, we. Knoxville is getting bigger. The city now has. Estimates indicate that it's surpassed the 200,000 levels for population. We got 500,000 in the county. It's not the sleepy town that it used to be. So and there are good things about that, and there are some not so good things about that. So like everything else in life.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that is going on in the city of Knoxville, where those 200,000 folk live, is the city council election this year. We have 5 seats on the ballot. The primary is coming up. Early voting begins this week. So, and last week there was a candidate forum in the 1st District, which is South Knoxville and Fort Sanders. Sad thing is, Fort Sanders usually gets the short end of the stick on that one, in part because UT students who mostly live in the Fort Sanders area don't vote, but they do live here and they are residents and they are constituents. But this forum is held in the old South High School building. It's now South High Senior Living. I'd never been inside South High Senior Living since they made the renovations. A beautiful facility that Rick Dover, developer, converted a few years ago, and the South Knoxville Neighborhood and Business Coalition led a partnership of several organizations, including the League of Women Voters, to throw that forum this past week, and all four candidates showed up: Karen Adams, Lindsay Yaremko, Becky Jones, and Charles Van Morgan. They answered questions that I asked them. I was the moderator for this, and the questions, it was kind of a mix. Some of them came from the organizers, some of them came from the audience. The one theme that came out, among all of them, is they all, to various degrees, said that the most important thing that they felt about being a representative of South Knoxville would be listening to South Knoxville residents, and their constituents. They all talked about the city's co-response program, which is the program where a social worker will team with a police officer on mental health related calls. That is in place now. There's also an alternative response model that's being considered. It's being researched right now, which would be pairing a mental health professional with an EMT or medic, and no police officer to answer those calls. They asked the three of the four candidates, Adams, Yaremko, and Morgan, said they supported the co-response program that included a police officer there. Now Yaremko also said that, in particular, said that she also likes the alternative response model, actually prefers that, and that needs to be included as well. They can do both. Morgan was the loudest one to talk about, and he's loud anyway, but he was the loudest voice on support for that. He was very adamant that that go on. Jones was firmly against it. She just said that basically the law, and she's a big advocate for law enforcement. That's one of her hallmarks of her campaign. She really is hanging her hat on, and she is dead set against law enforcement being used in any capacity to work on mental health problems, because they're not trained for it. Although increasingly they are, but she is dead set against that. These candidates are kind of interesting. There's a kind of a clear differentiating thing. Adams is more of in the mold of a lot of the current city council members. She's been active in the community for a long time. She serves on the Knox County Planning Commission. She's kind of she's got the support of several city council members, including Vice Mayor Tommy Smith, who currently represents the area. Yaremko is similar. She's also had been very active in the community. She is more aligned. I mean, she's got support of Amelia Parker, for example. City council is kind of the more progressive end of the Democratic spectrum there, and even though it's a nonpartisan race, got to remember that. Then you have Jones, who is a very conservative. She is her campaign manager is Eric Wider, who we've talked about many times as being he's kind of the leading Republican political consultant in the area, and he's managing her campaign. She's very conservative. And then you have Morgan, who basically is running on an anti-corruption platform. He thinks everybody's corrupt essentially, and that he needs to, he would be there to protect the residents. So he's not affiliated with anybody necessarily. So it was a lively discussion. I think the audience got a good idea of what differentiates the candidates. We will be having our profile of that race coming up early this week, so there will be more on the first district. We've had profiles in all the other districts that have seats up for grabs this year, so that'll be coming up this week. The one other thing that we reported on recently is the funding cuts to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. I say funding cut, the funding elimination at the federal level for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The Congress eliminated the funding. It was about $1.1 billion, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting supports PBS and NPR, the public television and radio systems in the United States. They, to varying degrees, I mean, they don't completely underwrite those entities, but NPR, PBS, and their member stations are going to feel the pinch. And we had our correspondent Gerald Witt, who talked to folks. He talked to Vicki Lawson, who's the CEO of East Tennessee PBS, and they're going to lose about 27% of their funding. So that's more than a quarter of their funding they're going to be losing. They run shows like Sesame Street and Ken Burns documentaries and those kinds of things. So it's some of those are pretty beloved by people, and so they are scrambling to figure out what they're going to do there. Obviously, they're going to be trying to rely more on local fundraising. The WUOT also is you're going to see a budget cut about 9% for WUOT, which is, of course, the radio station at the University of Tennessee that is public radio. They do, All Things Considered and all kinds of, mostly national, some local broadcasting, a lot of classical music, jazz, that sort of thing. Both outlets said that they were going to, they're very determined to continue with their missions. There's some, one of the things that this cut on a national level talked about doing is a lot of rural stations, both on the television side and the radio side, could close down. But these larger, more urban stations are in better shape. For instance, WOT has a total budget of about $2 million, and their cuts are going to amount to about $177,000. So that plus they have the institutional support of the University of Tennessee that always helps. The one thing that was kind of interesting about this is right when these cuts were being made, U.S. Representative Tim Burchett, our representative for the 2nd District, Congressional District in Knoxville, former Knox County mayor, former state legislator, had some pretty harsh words for public broadcasting. He said, quote, "The people at NPR and PBS literally hate this country," he said. And this was when he was doing an interview a couple of weeks ago with Tony Perkins. Said they hate everything that it's about. They hate our patriotism. They hate our Lord, and they don't hide it. That came as a big surprise to Lawson that he had such vitriol for public TV, especially for PBS. She said that when he was the mayor of Knox County, they got, he pushed through 2 grants, $100,000 each for East Tennessee Public Broadcasting. So, that was kind of befuddled her. He's done things for the station. He did, readathons for the station, and also obviously took issue with his accusation of a lot of of a lack of patriotism at PBS, and that's been a recurring theme among a lot of Republicans over the years, that PBS and NPR have too much of a liberal bias. She pointed out that these Ken Burns documentaries, like on the Vietnam War or the Revolutionary War, very popular. They're not political, in many ways, although they do touch on politics. They always broadcast the 4th of July celebration stuff from DC. So she was a little befuddled by that, but one of the things that is happening moving forward is you are going to see and hear the East Tennessee PBS and WOT trying to go solicit more donations from their listeners and from corporate sponsors in the area, because they do need to make up that shortfall if they want to continue providing service at the same level they are doing now. And we're going to move right now into more about Congressman Burchett.
In the perfect pun, karma kicked in.
Karma kicked in. Yeah. If you are so inclined to believe in karma, and think that, especially if you are an avid listener of WOT and viewer of the local PBS stations, you would think that karma did kick Tim Burchett in the chest last weekend. He actually broke a rib. I mean, we shouldn't really joke about it. He broke a rib, which no matter what your political persuasion is, you should not wish that on anyone. He was kicked by a horse on his farm, and he's got a farm up between Halls and Gibbs in North Knox County. He's been home for the recess, and on Sunday, a week ago Sunday, he apparently a horsefly bit his horse he was near, and said horse was none too pleased about that and kicked Burchett in the chest. He went to the hospital, broken rib, just got treated, and went home, and he of course, word spread pretty quickly. He said, he posted on X that it was no big deal. He talked about he didn't alter his schedule any. He traveled Monday to Middle Tennessee and Tuesday to Campbell County to go to various events, and he said it wasn't going to slow him down. Another evidence that's kind of funny. Burchett has become kind of a darling of the national media covering the federal government in Washington. He's interviewed quite a bit. CNN, Jim Acosta who used to be at WBIR. He's known Burchett for years, interviews him frequently. Fox News other outlets, they kind of like his folksiness.
Right. And there's nothing more country folksy than getting kicked by a horse.
And there's that is very much fitting with his national persona of being a kind of an aw shucks good old boy from the hinterlands, and even this got coverage in the Washington Post, in Politico, on the Hill, at the publication The Hill, Fox News. All of them reported on this. So he's gotten to the point where of political celebrity that when things like that happen to him that aren't policy related, when he's not talking about PBS and NPR being evil, even when it's just something as a minor injury that he occurred at his house, gets national coverage. So hey, and I think we mentioned this off the air earlier. He is probably East Tennesseans aren't really used to having a congressman in the 2nd District anyway who is as high profile as he is nationally. I think that we were talking that he's probably done more interviews with national media in just his 3 terms, I believe, than Jimmy Duncan did in 25 years.
I mean, I would probably step that up to like just in 2025. He's probably done more than Jimmy Duncan.
Yeah. Well,
in his whole career.
That's true. So anyway, regardless of your political persuasion, you should wish Congressman Burchett a speedy recovery.
Right. We want him healthy so you can yell at him about something important in politics wise, not
yes.
This. Yeah. I agree.
Speaking of public service, we'll move on to a more the academic side of public service, where we have the Baker School of Public Policy and Public Affairs at the University of Tennessee. Named after Howard Baker, the esteemed former senator from Tennessee, who shot to, speaking of national attention during Watergate, gained a lot of national attention by asking what the president knew and when he knew it. And anyway, the school is establishing the Howard H. Baker Jr. Award for Public Service, and that is, unless you think that that's something that's just kind of a local thing, it is not. It is a national award. It's going to be in place to recognize an exceptional young national leader who has a deep commitment to public service, civic engagement, and the advancement of democracy. The recipient will get $25,000, nothing to sneeze about, and be honored at a gala in the Baker School Gala in November. Mary Ann Wanamaker, who's the dean of the school, talked about how this award reflects the legacy of Baker. The people can be nominated for this. Now, Seth and I, unfortunately, don't qualify, so don't try to nominate us, because you got to be 40 years old or younger, and I'm well past that. So I believe you are too, aren't you, Seth?
Yeah.
Do I want? Am I going to embarrass you? Okay.
No, I was gonna. I was gonna be shocked and a gawk. I don't look that old, but you're correct.
Well, you don't look that old.
I am that old. It's too late. The hole's already dug. You don't need to dig it any deeper.
Much like your opulent studios, you are a very good-looking young lad, and I can say young because I'm much older than you are.
If I take the beard off, then I look like a child. But with the beard, I think I look my age.
Oh, okay.
I have a baby face.
Hence the beard, right?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, but people can nominate folks for this award through September 1st. You can go to the Baker School website to make those nominations. But like I said, it's a national award, so there will be the pool of candidates will be broad and deep, they hope, at the Baker School. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with there. Now, one other kind of interesting matter that's going on at the University of Tennessee is the Tickle College of Engineering is their nuclear engineering department is working on an initiative, a statewide initiative in education that hasn't gotten a whole lot of attention, but it's kind of odd when you think about it. It's kind of a one-of-a-kind thing. There is an initiative called Powering Our Town, which is to introduce kindergartners, first graders, and second graders to nuclear power, which I doubt that it's going to be. They're not going to. I don't think would get very deep into particle physics or anything like that, but they are going to be introduced to science and technology through this. It's the initiative is going to provide training to about 280 teachers, elementary school teachers across the state, and these to develop an age-appropriate curriculum. The point of the curriculum is to have these students create a town, and the town that would use nuclear energy to power the homes and the schools and the businesses and everything else. So to kind of introduce them to those concepts, it's going to be age appropriate, they say. So like I said, I doubt very seriously don't get too much deeply into the details of particle physics, but you never know. Kids are smarter today than I was when I was a kid. So.
I mean, in my head, I'm seeing the Mr. DNA video from Jurassic Park, just kind of reworked into a nuclear town format. I think that would be an age-appropriate way to try to do it.
Yeah, well, maybe so. Well, and there are a lot of people who wouldn't think The Simpsons are age-appropriate, but Homer has been teaching us about running a nuclear reactor for a long time. So
it's true.
I don't know that those are the right lessons you want to learn, but hey, it's out there. So anyway, that's been a lot of the stuff that's been going on this week. There is one kind of point of personal interest that we reported on that I wanted to make note of, and that is the passing of Ryne Sandberg at the age of 65 from prostate cancer. Sandberg is a Hall of Fame baseball player for the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, but he was also the manager of the Tennessee Smokies in 2009. So he does have a connection here to the now Knoxville Smokies. He was I mentioned this to you, Seth, off the air beginning of this. He was a Cub in the beginning of the 80s. He was traded to the Cubs in 84, and that was the time that coincided with my being in college and having free afternoons in the summer and being becoming a Cubs fan because their games were always on WGN on Saturday on weekday afternoons. And Sandberg he's one of the greatest second basemen ever to play. He won, he hit for average, he hit for power, won 9 Gold Gloves, was a 10-time All-Star, inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he did things the right way. In his Hall of Fame acceptance speech, he said that he respected he was brought up to respect his manager, the other teams, the game itself, the uniform that he wore, and not do anything to demean those. And he certainly did. And he was a very straightforward, no nonsense player. He didn't flip bats. He didn't pump fists a whole bunch. He didn't grandstand or taunt other players. He just went out and played ball. And he was he's one of my favorite players ever in baseball. And he does have that local connection. The year that he was only the manager for the Smokies for one season in 2009. But he led them to a first place finish in the North Division of the Southern League, and they fell just short in the league championship series, losing to the Jacksonville Suns. He went on to manage for 3 years with the Philadelphia Phillies. But Ron Sandberg, former Tennessee Smokies manager, rest in peace. So those are some of the things that happened last week. Now, this week, we've got a few things up. We've got the county the county school board is going to meet both Monday in kind of a pre-meeting agenda review session, and then on Thursday in their voting session. The got a couple things coming up. They're going to be considering a revised discipline policy. They're doing a contract or an arrangement with Robin Easter Design to do a rebranding of West High School. Now, this initiative predated the recent unpleasantness with the underage sex scandal there, but they're going to come up with a new with revisions to the logo and do various color. Just doing a kind of a corporate rebranding thing. The boosters are paying for this. It's a $25,000 deal with Robin Easter Design. Boosters paying for it, not the taxpayers. So they are going to. So I'm assuming that means that in the coming seasons you'll see new logos and uniforms and things like that for their sports.
Are they back on the topic of dropping Rebels, or are they keeping Rebels? Part of this deal?
Well, so far they're keeping Rebels. Okay. So now I don't. One of the things is a lot of the schools that use the Rebels nickname are trying to make it more of a generic rebel than a Confederate rebel.
On a point of personal story here, when I if you guys don't know, I grew up in Wisconsin. The high school I started in Wisconsin before I moved down here was Rebels, and it was straight up Yosemite Sam Rebels. Like, yeah, gray uniform, big white beard. It was the whole full on, and this was in Wisconsin, just south of Milwaukee.
Now you say gray uniform, long white beard. That sounds like we'll have to get together and compare logos here. That sounds like Carl Kuers, who was
very well might be.
Who was the logo? He was the mascot of the University of Mississippi.
Right, and I'm pretty sure Rebels. That's what most of their branding was borrowed from that, if I recall correctly.
Of course, he is a Southern Confederate stereotype that is. No longer
acceptable in general.
Part of the brand of the Ole Miss Rebels. So
yeah, that was ours. I don't know if they're still that way or not. I haven't talked to. It's been a 20-something years since I was there. So
yeah, but it is really strange that the school in Wisconsin would use a Confederate rebel symbol. Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of. Anyway, what do I know?
So before we move off of school board stuff next week, just as a PSA for just people in general out there, school is back this week as well. The first day.
Oh, that is true. Yes.
First day, half day is Thursday, and full day Friday. So all of your traffic patterns that you guys have gotten used to over the summer are out the window.
And
get ready for those yellow flashing lights.
And pay attention. The law enforcement.
It's very often. Yep, they'll be out.
They will be out. They will be paying close attention to what's going on. in the city of Knoxville, they're going to be putting speed cameras in school zones. So
right, but these first couple of weeks, they always have some extra officers out.
Absolutely.
Helping us remember that the school speed limits are much decreased from normal traffic patterns.
Absolutely. So yeah, be careful out there. If your daily travels take you through school zones, remember it is, despite the fact that it's still really, really hot, and is still summer.
Right.
I mean, back when I was a youngster, it was Labor Day, but they start a little bit sooner now.
Right, but the buses will be back out on the roads, and you'll have bus stops happening. So just keep your ears and eyes open. It's that time of year to get to readjust to the new normal.
All right. Well, we also are going to have one other thing that's on the school board agenda is school board member Catherine Bike is got a resolution on there that it's a non-binding thing, obviously, but they're asking the state to make up for the $3.8 million in federal funding that Knox County lost just recently. We talked about that last week. And the other funding that other school systems lost across the state. Obviously, that's just a request. The legislature will do what they will. City Council meets Tuesday at 6:00 in the main assembly room, the City County building. And one of the interesting things on the agenda there is Council member Amelia Parker, who has long registered disapproval of kind of the budgeting process for the city and the way that that's done, as a resolution where for council members to assert the authority to make line item budget amendments. Currently they can only and the interpretation of the city charter is that they can only make changes to the budget, at the fund level or the department level. There is an area where it appears they can make line item adjustments to grants, community grants, but it'll be interesting to see just how far that she pushes this, and to see what the mood is among her colleagues. Last but not least, early voting starts Wednesday in the city election. So, as we mentioned earlier, there will be 6 early voting locations: downtown West, the City County building downtown, Eternal Life Harvest Center in East Knoxville, the Knoxville Expo Center, Meridian Baptist Church in South Knoxville, and New Harvest Park in North Knoxville. The early voting begins, as I said, Wednesday. It goes through August 26th. You can go to any of those locations. Doesn't matter where you live. You just have to be registered to vote in the city of Knoxville. And you have to be registered in one of the 5 districts that's actually voting. The 5th district is not on the seat is not on the ballot in the primary or the general election. So that's about close to 15,000 people who are registered to vote who won't be able to cast a ballot in the primary. Now, hope they do remember that in the general election, when with the sales tax referendum on the ballot, they will be able to vote, but not in the primary election. Anyway, the polls are generally going to be open 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Weekdays, and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. They're not open Sundays. There are some exceptions, so you can go to knoxvotes.org to find those. One big exception, and this is really important, especially if you want to be one of the first ones to vote, is that on Wednesdays, beginning with the first day of early voting, this Wednesday, August 6th, the polls do not open until noon, and they will be open until 7 p.m. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Again, Wednesdays the polls will open at noon and stay open till 7. Although at Meridian Baptist Church in South Knoxville, they close at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. So anyway, like I said, you can go get the details at knoxvotes.org. You can also take a look at sample ballots, even though when you go in to vote, you will only have one race on your ballot. That will be the one for the district in which you reside.
So it should be a quick in and out, so it won't take a lot of time. So
No,
do it.
Yeah, it'll be real quick. I mean, turnout's usually pretty low, unfortunately, in these in the city primaries. So the low turnout combined with the having one seat on the ballot, you can swing in and out of there quicker than
faster than a cup of coffee.
Faster than you can go through a drive-through, for sure. At most fast food locations. So should have very few excuses not to cast a ballot if you are registered to vote in the city of Knoxville. Registration is closed for the primary, but you can register for the general election, which will be in November. That is all we have for this week's installment of Compass Points. Want to thank Lord Seth Barber for his stellar engineering, and Will Wright for the great music that we have on the program. And come visit us at CompassKnox.com if you want to subscribe and read all about all these things that we have recently talked about, and more. We do more than that. It's just hitting the highlights on Compass Points. So for now, we'll bid you adieu, and we'll be back next week for another round on Compass Points.
CompassKnox.com is your best source for news and politics in Knoxville and Knox County. If you'd like to learn more about the topics discussed on today's podcast, go to CompassKnox.com and subscribe for in-depth coverage and much more. And many thanks to William Wright for composing our theme song. Compass Points is a partnership of Barking Shark Media and Barbarian Productions, and recorded by Lord Seth A. Barber at Barbarian Studios, Knoxville, Tennessee.